Welcome to Block 8 of our Celebrating the States Block of the Month, the Georgia Block. For this block, you'll need 3 fabrics, a background, a medium, I'm using red, and a dark, I'm using a dark blue with stars. From the background fabric, cut a 3-inch by width of fabric strip. From that strip, cut 2 rectangles that measure 3 inches by 13 inches. From a 3-inch by width of fabric strip cut from the dark fabric, cut 4 rectangles that are 3 inches by 5.5 inches, 1 rectangle that is 3 inches by 13 inches, and 1 square that is 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. From a 3-inch by width of fabric strip of the medium fabric, cut 1 rectangle that is 3 inches by 13 inches and 4 squares that are 3 inches by 3 inches. We invite you to hit that like button and subscribe so that you can see all the Celebrating the States blocks in the future. It's time to sew. Make sure you're piecing using 1/4-inch seam allowances. Piece the medium 3-inch by 13-inch rectangle to the background 3-inch by 13-inch rectangle. Piece the dark 3-inch by 13-inch rectangle to the other background 3-inch by 13-inch rectangle. On the wrong side of the 4 medium squares, draw a line from corner to corner. I'm using a friction pen to draw my lines. The lines will be erased with heat. Place the squares on the ends of the 3-inch by 5.5-inch dark rectangles. 2 will go from lower left to upper right, and the other 2 will go from upper left to lower right. Sew on the lines that you drew. If desired, you can sew an extra seam 1/2 inch away from the first one, closer to the corner, and cut in between the seams to get spare half-square triangle units that you can use in another project. I don't like to throw away perfectly good fabric, so I almost always use this technique when I'm sewing these corner-to-corner lines. You can cut in between the lines using a scissors or go to your rotary mat and use your rotary cutter and your ruler. Press the rectangle units toward the darker fabrics. So press towards the medium fabric and press towards the dark fabric. Press the rectangle units toward the triangles in the corners. While I'm pressing, I'll usually take a moment to press those spare half-square triangle units so I don't have to think about doing it later. Subcut the rectangle unit with the dark fabric into sections that are 3 inches wide. Subcut the rectangle unit with the medium fabric into sections that are 2.5 inches wide. Piece the dark and background sections to the dark rectangles with the triangles. The triangle should be opposite the background square. Piece the dark 2.5-inch square between two of the background and medium 2.5-inch sections. Make sure you're always piecing the dark fabric to the background fabric. When pressing these units, you're going to always be pressing toward the darker fabric or away from the background. Once everything is pressed, lay out the block to make sure everything looks right. Now's your chance to fix any mistakes there might be. You're going to piece two of these outer row sections that are exactly alike. Press away from the background fabric toward the dark fabric. If pressed correctly, the seams should nest together as you sew the rows together. Because the seams are nesting together quite nicely, I usually just start sewing without pinning. If you want to make sure your seams are perfect, you can pin the seams just to make sure everything lines up right. One last pressing to make sure the block lays nice and flat. And our Georgia block is done. We invite you to hit that like button, share the Celebrating the States blocks with your quilting friends, leave a comment, and be sure to subscribe so you can see all the fun blocks that are coming up in the future. Thanks for watching and happy quilting!